being a good powerlifter does not make you good at rugby. The strength doesn't carry over as much as you think it would. Now, I went back into rugby and I'm squatting 335. 335? I've probably squatted it 5 to 7 times in my powerlifting career, so we're talking a significant amount of weight on my back with wrist wraps, ins a belt, A7 knee sleeves, and being able to produce enough force to lift that weight. Now, that didn't carry over at all when I started rugby, and I learned that almost immediately. My first preseason game went in, got absolutely smoked trying to tackle one of the opposition players, and I was like, okay, it's been a while since I've played rugby, but I shouldn't be getting folded like that. Like, I am significantly stronger than every single person on this rugby field. I don't think I realize how much stronger I am than everyone else on the pitch. That carryover does have a really positive impact on scrummaging. So for me, like immediately I was able to feel, I was like, I had two very young and inexperienced props, but I was like, I can hold my own here. Like my positioning, the strength, I don't feel. There's only been one game this season where I felt really under stress, and that's even with my kind of loose head struggling, tight heads boring onto me, the hookers boring onto me, and I've never really felt that under stress in the scrum. And I don't know if that's because I've done it for a while, or maybe I'm just used to it, or the skill, or I don't really know. But I do feel like the strength has had a massive impact there, that I can hold my position and be absolutely fine. And sometimes I don't take my brake foot back. I just leave it in the tunnel and scrummage essentially off one leg, and I'm like, yeah, this will be fine. Which obviously wouldn't hold up at higher levels, but for playing where I play, it holds up. And I can usually change my bind and kind of pull my loose head into the position that they need to be able to deal with a tight head who's maybe better than my loose head, or a tight head who's boring in, kind of give those instructions and help to the loose head prop so that we can deal with the tight head together. I'm fortunate enough to have a tight head prop who's a farmer who is strong as a bull, and we go for like a really loose bind on that tight head side. And I gotta leave him to do his own thing, and I've yet to worry about him when we've been scrummaging. And so I do think that the powerlifting training and getting strong and those kind of like short duration force outputs in the scrum have been fantastic, and that's been really good for that, which is kind of a centerpiece of being a hooker, right? You need to be able to scrummage and you need to be able to throw into lineouts. Everything else outside of that is like cherry on top, but if you can't do the fundamentals of set piece as a hooker, you're probably not a hooker, and you're probably not very good, because you need to be able to throw into lineouts and you need to be able to scrummage well. Like, that is literally your job. Anything outside of that is gravy. Something that definitely helped was also my robustness coming from powerlifting. So I've never really been very injury prone. Like I've talked before, my biggest injuries are I have a wonky little finger and this finger is fractured. And that's it. That's pretty much all the wear and tear I've had from rugby over 16, 17 years of playing. But powerlifting feels like it's added another layer to that. And although I had an ACJ issue earlier in the year, that was my own fault for poor positioning in a tackle and poor timing. Like, that was just silliness from me. I wasn't aggressive enough. I was trying to be a little bit too passive, but I didn't want to give away a penalty because the guy jumped in the air, and I'm like, if I go too early, I'm going to get yellow carded, and I don't want to start my account with a yellow card. So I decided to hold off for a bit longer and just mistimed when he landed. So he landed in his strongest position, and I just went shoulder straight into kind of knee, elbow, forearm, shin, which wasn't too great, and that hurt a lot. And I didn't let it recover because I had to keep playing, and that was a fun few weeks. But that kind of everywhere else I can survive being in poor positions for a little bit longer, I feel like that's definitely a benefit to being powerlifting strong. But that being said, powerlifting has done sweet nothing for fitness, for speed, for anything that I used to be really good at, which was I was fit and I was fast when I was like 17, 18. But I was fit and fast. Even when I went back at 24, I was fast. And that was something that I would pride myself on, was being one of the fastest forwards, chasing down kickoffs, being in the right place at the right time. And that comes from a little bit of kind of, I don't want to say street knowledge, but rugby brain, like knowing where the ball's going to go or predicting it and being able to be in the right place at the right time. If our fullback went on a counter-attack, I'd drop into fullback and be completely comfortable there. And so I think powerlifting has made me slower, less explosive, and has taken away a lot of my game that I really enjoyed having, which was being able to step people, that footwork, the speed, that getting into the right place at the right time, not being concerned if someone's going to go around me. And I think I've had more people go around me in the first, what have I played, 6-7 games of the season than I have maybe in the rest of my life. Like, and I'll give them the outside because I still believe I'm as fast as I was, but I'm not as quick as I want to be. And the competitive side of me is I'm 29 years old, 105, 104 kilos at the moment, after Christmas. And our wingers are 19, weigh 75, 80 kilos, and are lightning quick. And I want to be as fast as them. And I know it's probably not going to happen, but I would love to be that fast again because I believe I was as fast as them. And I believe now I could be not close, but I think with training for next season, I could probably be nearly as quick as them, which sounds mental. I don't want to race them because I don't want to find out. I'm happy with the delusion in my head, but powerlifting has definitely taken away that from me, and that's what I'm working so hard on at the moment to get back, is that speed and agility and that ability to do repeated efforts, which is something that I've really struggled with at the start of the season. Struggle with fitness full stop, right? Like I'm going to after 5+ years of not doing any kind of cardio, but the ability to make a tackle, get up, make another tackle, sprint down the pitch because we've turned over the ball, and then carry, like those kind of things, I couldn't do because we do our set and it's okay. If you're training fast, you take 2 minutes rest. Like, and that's if you're training really fast. The majority of powerlifters do not train really fast. 5 to 8 minutes allow you to kind of exert as much force as possible. And the next set, chill for a bit. This is nice. Then continue. And so a lot of my training at the moment has been practicing those repeated efforts and trying to get better at them. And I'm still not fit. I'm not fit enough yet, but I'm a lot fitter than I was. And I'm so excited for the first few games back to see if it has improved. If it hasn't, I'm going to be so annoyed, but I know that I can make it better. But I believe that I'm going to start playing again and feel the world better for it, for all this kind of work of these jumping, these throwing things, these weird little kind of exercises, the time spent on ski ergs and rowers. And I'm just hoping it pays off, that I can feel better when I'm playing and kind of reverse some of that powerlifting stuff. And with the strength as well, and with that kind of repeated efforts and that kind of aerobic, anaerobic fitness that we're talking about, being really strong is great. But if you can't repeatedly put it out there, it doesn't matter at all. Like if I could put out, we'll just say 100% effort in the first 10 minutes, but then we get to the 70th minute and I'm at 20%, it's pointless being that strong in the first few minutes if I can't hold on to it towards the end of the game. And that kind of base of fitness that I need to be able to do that didn't exist. So I'd find myself dropping off real hard towards the end of the games. And then I'd maybe, it sounds ridiculous, you'd take 20, 15 minutes on the pitch of kind of trying to get yourself back right and then have kind of a second wind, which is something I did against Holt, which is I started hitting people. It's partially because my ankle got stamped on and I wasn't very appreciative of that, but that ability to kind of bring the strength to the forefront and being fit enough to do that, powerlifting doesn't have that. It gets you really good at doing one rep because that's all that matters with the sport. Being fit is just the major thing, right? Powerlifting and powerlifters, we've got a little micro trend coming on at the moment, but do not value cardiovascular fitness or any kind of fitness at all. And it's to the detriment of pretty much everyone in powerlifting, in my opinion. It's something that we'll see more throughout 2026 is more people kind of saying they're balancing another sport or fitness. But generally, people just need to do some kind of cardio in their week. And that's going to be good enough for 9 out of 10 people, right? Most people aren't playing another sport. Most people aren't trying to balance rugby and powerlifting. It's either a little bit of running and powerlifting, cycling and powerlifting, swimming and powerlifting, like these lower impact sports, not trying to balance a whole nother sport alongside powerlifting. But I do think it's really important that people do start doing some cardio stuff. And as I've got older, it's clearly more important. But being able to do repeated efforts and to be fitter, and it's something that kind of work capacity we talk about, being able to do it faster, being able to train, you get your training sessions done faster, you got more time for the rest of your life, rather than 3 hours in the gym, which is great sometimes for socials. Being able to get in there, train in an hour because you are fit enough to get through your session, it's happy days. And also, this plant, it's pretty cool. My parents got it for me for my birthday, but I need to water it, and it's bloody massive. And I got the wrong size. Well, I can't remember the name for it. I don't call it vase. Vase is the wrong pot. pot for it. So I need to lift that whole thing up and put it in my sink.